Welcome to the episode of Suits and Sports. I am Kingshuk Saha. I am an assistant editor at Global Sports Policy Review, and we are joined by our founder, Mr. Subhrajit Chanda, and my colleague, Mr. Ryan James, who is an associate editor. And we are delighted to welcome Mr. Sharath Gayakwad to this episode. So, sir, welcome. And yeah, sir, can you first tell us what was like your first motivation in life to start swimming? Like, how did swimming come about as the thing that you always wanted to do?
First, thank you for inviting me, and it's great to be part of one of the team members. I'll try my best to help guys in whatever way I can. And the main thing, I was in class 4 in Gayakwad Public School, Bangalore. So they made it mandatory for all the class 4 kids to learn swimming. So I didn't have an option. And my parents tried to get out of it because my father barely knew how to survive in the water, and my mom didn't know how to swim at all. So they were scared, my kid, he doesn't have a hand, and like, we don't know how to do this, and this is something it's very risky. So that's what they were thinking, and they tried to get me out. But the school principal and the teachers, everyone, they gave them my parents a lot of confidence, and that's how I got to learn swimming. And initially I was scared like everybody else. If it was a completely different environment, new thing, and we were all scared, and it did take a lot of time for me to learn than the other kids. But once I got into the water, I absolutely loved it, and I just wanted to spend as much as time in the water possible. And once I got a hang of it, there was like no looking back. I just wanted to swim, and after a couple of years, I got to know that there are competitions for the differently abled people, para sports, even at the top level at the Paralympics, Asian Games, Commonwealth Games, and also we wanted to give it a try since I was already swimming well. And then we got into the state championship, nationals, and everything. And like after 2-3 years, when people start to ask you like, what are you going to take up in the future? What's your career option and everything? So I always said, I want to be a professional swimmer, and then take up coaching after that. So that's how it all started.
So, sir, I want to so you are saying like a swimmer, and also those who know who is Sharath Gayakwad, right? The Arjuna awardee. Then a sixth, like he is the one who broke the PT Usha record, right?
Yeah.
So when you go through the road and all, so when people see you, there is no doubt like people who knows you. Like in India, I feel like people are crazy about the cricket and all, but they are not towards the other sports activity. Recently, Neeraj Chopra got favors due to his goal. Even if he hasn't got the goal or any medal, no one cares, right? You know that in our sports sector in India. So those who know you, like, oh, Sharath Gayakwad. So how does it feel to you? Do you want to be that Sharath Gayakwad, or you want to be a normal Sharath Gayakwad?
I definitely want to be a normal Gayakwad, but there's two sides of it. Definitely, as a person, I want to be known for the person who I am, not for the achievement. But it's something like if I enter the room, I definitely look for that kind of respect for both my achievements and as a person, for whether it's my personality or characteristics, anything. So there's two sides of it, but I would like to be away from the achievements part and everything, just for the person who I am. People, it should not be like, oh, he's a sports person, we have to be just nice to him or anything. We have to always make him comfortable, or whatever it is. I would like to be friends with everyone, not that, okay, I'm an achiever, you're not an achiever, you have to respect me or something like that. I don't know if I'm talking in the right context, but it's great to be known more like a person than the sportsman.
So when someone irritates you, like someone goes, sir, autograph, and you are doing something, so you say, okay, wait for a minute. Then again, sir, autograph. So how you tackle that autograph thing, and when what do you do with the people who irritates you? Like there's too many people also will be there who will irritate you whenever you are on or going somewhere. How do you tackle that? Maybe you're sitting in a restaurant, you are having food. Then people,
No,
oh, Sarath,
no, actually, like if I have to only leave or something, that's when I just say no, sorry, and I leave. But otherwise, it's great to, be, make people happy, put a smile on their face. So, I give a lot of autographs or photographs, even though I'm having food. I just take some time and just do a couple of signs possible, or I ask them to wait for some time so that I can finish. Depends on the situation basically, or how important work I am doing. But I have heard this from people that even in tense time and like very important work time, I do find time, and I do accept the requests of people and take their photographs or autograph with them.
So, sir, the question that I had is that you have both represented India at the Paralympics and you've broken PT Usha's record. So, which for you matters more, breaking PT Usha's record or being a Paralympian, like representing India in the Paralympics? And what was your experience, if you could talk about?
Okay, I have not had this question with the record basically, but with the Arjuna award. As you start swimming, there's only one dream, to be in the Paralympics and win a medal at the Paralympic Games. So, Paralympics is always going to be on top, no matter what, what record you do, whether it was just PT Usha's record or you can, something like what Michael Phelps did. No matter what, he will always cherish every gold medal. He'll not cherish that record. Yeah, I have beaten the record, but record was never in mind. I didn't even know that record existed. Till the last medal that I won. It was one of the media journalists. I saw. I'm sorry, I don't remember his name or the paper, but he messaged me on Twitter, and he said that you have equal PT Usha's record. If you win one more medal, you'll be a record. I was quite surprised, and I was very happy, that I've equaled some, record, like with PT Usha, I'm sharing that record. But winning that last medal was never, it was never a pressure point or anything, it was a relay event as well. So the more pressure was, if I don't swim fast or if I don't perform well, my teammates are also going to miss out on the medals. So that was the main thing on my mind. The record was never on my mind. So it's always Paralympics.
So, sir, growing up, like you said, like you were kind of forced into swimming, but did you have like any role models while you were growing up that I want to be like this person, maybe Mark Spitz or someone like that?
No, when I started swimming, there was no role model except, I was a fan of cricket and football. So I always thought I would either be a cricketer or a footballer than swimmer. But, swimming, I used to love it. But, as a dream, I only had football or cricket in mind. And of course, Sachin Tendulkar and Rahul Dravid were my role models. And, like back then, the whole cricket team, like we had Ganguly, Sehwag, everyone like were my favorites. And, I wanted to, play like them and achieve like them. But once I started swimming, and thanks to the internet, basically when we started to have a lot of internet access and everything, so I got to see a lot of races on YouTube and everything. And of course, once I started competing is when I changed my decision to become a professional swimmer. So that was the time when I learned a lot about Ian Thorpe, who is an Australian swimmer, and looking at him swim and listening to his interviews and reading his articles and everything, just I just wanted to be just like him. Everything I did, everything, the way I swam, everything. I wanted to copy him. I wanted to be like him. So Ian Thorpe was my main role model once I started swimming.
So, sir, when you started another question comes from our, see, we are somewhere from a middle group of family, right? Middle class family, which we say. Somewhere we started from there only. So, say a middle class family has a tendency that don't do sports activity, go and study. And you are the like you had also like people who does not know. Other than that, you have a degree in journalism, and you are a journalist itself yourself, right?
Yeah.
So when you used to do like swimming as well as you do study, so whether there is not any pressure towards you कि leave swimming छोड़ो घर में जाके पढ़ाई करो, like which your parents do.
Yeah, that is always there, it's just like a typical Indian family. Having father only the main source of income. And of course, back then we didn't have government support as well. So every state championship or national championship, international championship was through our own funding. We had to go through our own. Even today, we have to go through a lot of competitions on our own to qualify for the major events to get experience. But the government support right now is a bit more than used to be before, and it was 100% completely on us. Everything was done by my father, and of course I had to go through that pressure of swimming is fine, you do it. We're not going to stop you from swimming ever, and but you have to concentrate more on the education part and everything. Actually, I've not completed my bachelor's degree. So even my sports director, whenever I meet him, Jain University sports director, he's like, why have you not completed yet? Why have not come? I'm gonna support you. We're gonna give you some extra classes, or we're gonna help you. The teachers are gonna help you a lot. Don't worry and all. But and I just completely got into swimming, and I was actually at that point of time I was doing a lot of swimming courses as well. But yeah, again, my parents were like, no, complete your education, you need to get a proper job and everything. But right now they are really happy because of not just because of what I've achieved, because I've made a career path out of swimming, and I'm coaching well right now. I have a lot of national and international level swimmers, and I'm earning well as well, so they don't have any complaints right now.
So, sir, now that you've been a swimmer yourself, and now that you're a coach, what are the different what for you are the major differences, maybe in mindset or in training? Like, what's different when you're competing as a sportsman versus when you're a coach?
Yeah. So this is always the same answer. As an athlete, it was only me. Everything revolved around me, and everything depended on me working hard. Me being disciplined, or me being, like basically giving everything that I've got. So all the glory, all the achievements that I've done is through my hard work. Of course, my coaches there are my support systems, my parents, sponsors or nutritionists, fitness trainers, doctors, everyone. They've all contributed, to push me and keep me in a better shape and everything. But all that would never work if I never worked hard. I would never win if I don't push myself, put my limits. So the success was dependent on me. But as a coach, I have to depend on my kids' hard work to be a successful coach. So no matter what planning I do, what kind of workouts I give, they have to work hard. It's very simple. If they don't work hard, they won't perform. It's as simple as that. So this is the most major difference with being an athlete and coach. But the thing that I learned through coaching, it's amazing. You stop being selfish. You have, whether you have world #1 swimmer and world, the last swimmer in the world, who's placed last in the world. It doesn't matter, you are treating everyone equal, and you want everybody to equally achieve a lot of success in their own age group or event or whatever it is. So, you stop being selfish. Of course, patience is something that I still fight with myself, Now I tell, like, I need to be more patient. I need to be more patient. But sometimes I get frustrated with, when things are not going according to plan and everything. But yeah, the most important thing is that, no matter how hard you push, how brutal you are with the kids, the next morning or the evening, they're always there to wish you, with a smile on their face always. And especially when it comes with small kids, I always love kids. So when small kids, come up with that face and always smiling and wishing you good evening or morning, and then they start with their activity again, in spite of you being really hard on them. So that is the most beautiful thing.
So I had a question to you. So this is one question I think I see athletes of any level, I always ask them, and now you're actually an athlete above all those levels. You actually represented India at the biggest stage, at the Paralympics. So I want to ask you, how do you handle that pressure? Like, what is going on in your mind before such a big platform? Like, do you have a pre-game ritual? What happens during that time?
Yeah, I think everybody has a ritual, that they follow, and the preparations to the game is the most important thing. That's when a lot of mind games are being played. You're trying to work on a strategy, or you're trying to work on a particular event in a particular way and everything. So that's the most hardest thing, But when you go to the competition, like I said, Ian Thorpe is my idol, and there's one quote of him that's always stuck with me. It's become my life motto, actually. So he said, like, losing is not coming second. It is getting out of the water, knowing you could have done better. So, what he meant was, 99% is also not done. You need to give your 100%. Even though you lose, you should not feel that, I could have gone faster. And, that's been the motto of, since I can remember. And I've tried to always keep my mind blank and always go 100%. So coming into rituals, before we go on the deck to start the event, there's a 20-minute rule. All the swimmers or all the athletes need to report 20 minutes before their event. Otherwise, they will not be allowed to take part in that event. So we have 20 minutes. All my competitors, everyone are together, and of course, this is at the Paralympics, and at the biggest stage. But I have been racing with my competitors for a lot of time, and we know each other very well. We're good friends as well. So 20 minutes, we're doing a slight stretches and trying to keep our mind calm and staying hydrated and everything. And we're talking to each other, like, how are you feeling? What are you expecting? And how's the preparations going and everything. And just before we go to line up on the blocks on the deck, we're looking at each other, we're smiling and showing thumbs up to each other, wishing each other good luck. So that was one of a really beautiful thing. And once we go on the block, I have 2-3 stretches that I do before every race. I have to do it. So just before they give the final whistle to go on the block, I do that stretches, and then we swim our race. And then even after finishing again, we're talking to each other, like, how did you go? Is it what you expected? Are you feeling good and everything? And so we are back to being friends again. So I think at that stage, we all know what we have been doing all this while and what we have to do. And nothing can intimidate us or anything. There are probably few people who still get very nervous, during the competitions. But I think we have been, each and every person would have been racing for at least 10 years, and they've gotten used to it, and I don't think at that level anything matters.
Just now, sir, you mentioned one thing, like the first race, like 10 years, and so like there is a difference between first race and after you were doing for 10 years thing, right?
Yeah.
So when you are in this first time, when you are jumping, when you're in a competition, obviously you will not knowing any person, right? Whether you're in Olympic or well, Asian Games. And so when you are first time you participated in this Asian Games and all, the Paralympic, what was the thing which happened to you? Like, is there something like I'm new on this field? Like, there was any nervousness inside of you?
Yeah, by the time I got into that top level, international level, I had already been racing in the national arena for 5-6 years. And, yeah, I used to be a lot of, I used to have a lot of tension with me. I was very nervous, and my heart used to pump fast, really fast. I used to sweat, and my lips would turn white because of the dehydration and sweat and everything. So I was constantly drinking water. There's been a couple of times, during the early stages when I had to pee really bad, and I used to just run to the washroom and pee and come back. And I used to get tired way before the event would start. So that was the thing. But yeah, as the experience went up, and I started to keep performing well and keep improving my time. So that was a really good confidence for me. And of course, listening to all the top athletes, how they feel, what they try to do. And of course, Ian Thorpe was like a god to me, and I learned a lot from him, and that's what kept giving me the confidence. And that's when I started to concentrate only on giving my 100%, and nothing else matters.
Another thing which I want to ask you, like you are of age 30. So I was trying to ask you before only, like you are of age 30, and by this age you have retired, right?
Yeah.
So maybe if you are there, maybe we can get much more medals, which we need. Because in India, even this Olympic also, we have seen that there is not a single Indian swimmer, right? So it means that they haven't been eligible to be. There is swimmer, but they are not eligible to participate in the Olympic, because for Olympic they have to certain
This time we
criteria.
had 3 people. This time we had 3 swimmers, but they couldn't even get through semi-finals. Yeah, that's anyway different.
So I want to know one thing, like what is the difference between the other countries performing and us? Like what are their coaching, like how they coach these players? Like what is the thing which are lacking behind? So there is less number of athletes from our side and there more number of athletes from their side.
Yeah, no, it's not anything to do with uh, the other country population or whatever. The whole package that I talked about, right? The physiotherapist, nutritionist, and everything. The whole package comes together right from the very early age. Even education, people tell you can't do sports and education together and everything. That's not the case. And people who follow American sports, they all know they have to go through that particular system, and they have a concept of student athlete. uh, uh, you know so that is a very beautiful concept and everything. But the education stress in our country is so high, and the financial support is so less in the country, and the whole support system comes in at a very, very later stage. That's what happens with the Olympics or Paralympics. Now I can say probably because we have a lot of support from a lot of NGOs like Go Sports Foundation, Olympic Gold Quest, JSW Sports, and all these guys are supporting people from a pretty young talent. But at the government level, we don't have that kind of support. Only people. We have a scheme called Top Scheme. It's Target Olympics Podium Scheme. So only those people get a lot of support, and the rest of the athletes, they don't even come into picture. So that is where we're lacking main. Coaching, we have really good coaching facility. I mean, we have really good coaches. We have really good nutritionists or physiotherapists or fitness trainers. Even science, has come up a lot in the country. So I believe, it is me as an athlete needs to be more disciplined and put in more hard work, and the government as a support system needs to start looking at grassroots level and start supporting them right from beginning. uh, you know uh, Even today we hear stories like people running without shoes. They're coming to the national trials and everything, so that is something very sad to hear. And I would say 2-3 states are doing pretty well, but we are like 10 steps behind all other countries. So I think this is the main thing.
Right.
Sorry, I'll just add one more point.
Yeah.
One more argument, people, like countries like Kenya, there's like a Tunisian swimmer won a gold medal. Countries such a small country, they don't have any support and everything. There's a lot of talk on that. And why can't Indians do? Why do we always complain about the support system? Government is not doing anything with this thing. Those athletes also go through the same kind of struggle, and there are many athletes who are actually getting education in the US and training in the US or European countries or Australia. These are of course, even though people from different countries are winning, but almost I can say 80% of the people are getting trained not in their home country. They're all training outside in Australia, USA, this thing. So that is also the case. We need to consider everything. One step, one box you don't tick is also a disadvantage. So that is the thing with the difference between us and them.
Sir, so yeah, you were talking about the support from different NGOs and stuff. And that reminds me that you have started your own foundation, the Bluefin Foundation. So if you could talk about the Bluefin Foundation, what are your goals and aspirations? What do you do?
Definitely. So Bluefin Foundation we started with the idea about almost 4 or 5 years back. Myself, couple of my colleagues and my friends and all, we used to do individual support, to like when I used to coach in Puja Aquatic Center, we used to support the security guard's son. I used to give them coaching, and me and my colleague used to put our own money and take him to the competitions and everything. And the swimming pool, Puja Aquatic Center, they used to provide the kid with all the cap, goggles, and training equipments and everything. So we started like that, and my friends, came up with the idea: why don't we make it as an organization? Look for fund. And like I said, there's Go Sports Foundation, Olympic Gold Quest, and other NGOs who are supporting people who are at the national arena, international arena, and everything, and which is still we can say top level of the grassroots. But what about the people who are at the very first level? And then when I think about it, I started swimming because I got an opportunity to swim. Otherwise probably even today, even though I'm 30 years old, I don't think I would have even learned how to swim. So probably I got that opportunity, and I absolutely love swimming, and I excelled in it. So there are so many people financially deprived. There are so many people in the rural areas who don't even have that kind of opportunity. So we got this idea together, and we started Bluefin Foundation. So the main idea was to give opportunity to everybody, whether it was a differently able person or underprivileged kid. So we started with that idea, and we formed the organization in 2018. And we started to look for a lot of government schools and other NGOs, orphanages and everything, So we found one school called Shishu Mandir who are providing free education for the underprivileged, and also they also had an orphanage with them, and we got in 60 kids under 8-year-old, under 8 years, and we taught them, and out of those 63 were orphans. So they got that opportunity, and things were looking really great actually, and we had planned to get them into the state level championships this year, but for the past 1.5 years they've been on and off. Swimming pool sports was the first to close, and swimming pools were the last to open. And when we got the opportunity to train them again, we were training, we were picking up, and probably we're looking at 2022 state championships. But then again, we had to go through lockdown in April, May, June, and last month only we opened. But again, we are scared of the third wave, and so we have actually stopped a little bit for a while to just see the situation, assess it, and then start again. So hopefully we will get through it, and all 60 kids learned swimming, and about 20 of them were looking really good to take up to the next level. And recently we signed about 4 para swimmers who are already at the national level, and a couple of them had participated in international as well. So we were looking to, para swimming, the country has, very less support. So we want to improve that. And, this year I got a new role through Karnataka Para Swimming Association as a joint secretary. So I will be working with the federation as well. So we the Karnataka Para Swimming Association and Bluefin Foundation together, we are trying to come up with a lot of programs to improve para swimming in the state, Karnataka state, and also looking forward to expand to the whole country as well in the future.
Sir, so yeah, regarding about para swimming and everything, now recently, because Neeraj Chopra won the gold in the Olympics, it's a huge deal, a momentous step for all of us. But I think it's a personal opinion, but I think there is one athlete who had already achieved this, Devendra Jadeja. He had already done this in the Paralympics, but I think for some reason, like Neeraj Chopra got a lot more media attention. So do you think there is like the role of the media has to change in this regard? That does Paralympics or para swimmers or para athletes, do they need more recognition, at least in terms of media or government, or do you think it's something like that?
Definitely, that was a really good point. Even if it is Neeraj Chopra, I will promise you, like if he starts underperforming for some time, there's gonna be a lot of criticism, and then there's probably hardly going to be any telecast, media support for him as well after some time. And I just like to share one point. After every Olympic Games and Paralympic Games, everything's forgotten until the Asian Games, Para Games, or Commonwealth Games. So which is after 2 years, and then again suddenly there is a boom in media support, telecast, and everything. Again there's down, and everything's like, okay, Olympic preparations, but the support is not there from the government, and the media support is also not there. So these are the two things which has happened every single Olympics and Paralympics. Everything after a couple of months is forgotten until the next big competition. So there's nothing happening. And I would like to just share one thought that 2010 Commonwealth Games happened in India, and 2 years we had amazing facilities, which is why I feel that Commonwealth Games setup gave us the foundation to what we are today. I don't believe if Commonwealth Games wouldn't have happened, we would have still been struggling to get even that one medal today. That gave a very good base foundation, infrastructure wise and coaching wise and training wise, and we had a lot of camps and government support. But yeah, after the games, everything gone down, and then again we're struggling. Every Olympics, Paralympics, it's the same struggle. And the next point is, yes, Devendra Jajaria won 2 gold medals, one in 2004 and 2008 and 12. He didn't have his event, unfortunately. Javelin throw for his disabled class category, they didn't have that event. So 2016, they got it back again, and then he won a gold medal again with a world record time. So, of course, there was zero telecast on anything. Rio, we did get a lot of highlights from Rio. That was because of Sony Entertainment, and Sony themselves has been sponsoring a lot of para athletes. So I think that was one of the thing which led them to telecast the Rio Paralympics as well. Apart from that, any other games we have zero telecast. Even Asian Para Games, there's no Indian. We don't find a single Indian journalist present at the games in the Asian Para Games. Commonwealth Games, again, it's a mixed event where Olympic athletes and the Paralympic athletes all participate at the single games. There are para events also being held during the Commonwealth Games. So there you get a little bit of media attention again. So yeah, I think it's not a complaint. Basically, it's just that we need to provide more to expect better results. It's very simple. If we get the right kind of government support, if we get the right kind of media attention, media has a lot of amazing power. If my story gets covered when I'm struggling and everything, we can showcase it to the world, and probably even the government might see, and there might be some changes with the government function, or even some corporate might come forward to support us. So there's a lot of drawback, and I definitely feel media needs to up their game when it comes to para sports.
Sir, you are absolutely right in this point, because I have seen in sitting in UK also, I have seen this thing like they don't differentiate between a para Olympian and an Olympian. For them, an Olympian is an Olympian, and you are true in this fact. Like in India, we have a very bad mind concept. I don't know how this modern generation will react, because mostly we see the old people who are there in this media area. They have this thought like para Olympian or a para athletes are different from athletes.
Yeah.
So I still remember there was one, forgetting this, there was a athlete who came to in our university itself to give a lecture, and he mentioning himself as I'm a para Olympian. He's a British para Olympian. He's a runner. And then the person, our professor who was there was like, no, like we in UK, we don't believe in para Olympian and Olympian. For us, Olympian is Olympian. Whether you're Paralympic, so they forecast, they also support it like that.
Yeah.
So truly you are true in this fact. So we need to be an open heart in this fact. Like athlete is athlete.
Yeah.
So sir, even I want to ask you one thing. Like, don't you think your age is being a lighter mood? So your age, you are 30 just now, and you are retired, and you became coach.
Yeah.
Why is that? Like we are too young to be like retired from this one, because we have seen 30 to 33 years old player. They're still now continuing.
Yeah. No, I believe, I could have continued, and probably I could have swam way better and won more medals than probably. I finished 9th in London. Probably I could have gone to the finals and something in Rio or even Tokyo. It was nothing about my performance going down or anything, and I'm feeling old or something, but it was more to do with coaching. I've always wanted to become coach, and it got to a point where coaching was the only thing on my mind. Swimming was not on my mind, and I was not training well. I was not able to properly. A lot of instance, because of my shoulder injury as well, that I couldn't train that hard like I used to before and everything. But the main thing was, I was not enjoying the water like I used to before. And, every time I got into the water, it was not fun at all. And because of that, I was not able to concentrate. I was not able to push properly, and that was the thing. In 2016, I decided, this is enough. I don't want to hate myself. I don't want to hate swimming. Uh, you know, I didn't even want to get into the water sometimes. That how uh, mentally down I was with me swimming. And all I wanted to become was a coach. And then me and my coach decided, okay, fine, this is finally the time. Because I've been always knocking on his door about 3-4 times in my career. That okay, I want to stop. I want to coach. I want to stop swimming and everything. But he's been able to push me, and in spite of all the injuries or troubles, whatever we went through, he's always been that pillar who always lifted me up. And we prolonged it for long. But then when I went to him with this problem that I'm not enjoying swimming anymore, things he understood, and he said, okay, fine, let's stop it, and you can start coaching. So that's the thing.
Right, sir. So I think with that, we do come at the end of the session, unless anyone else has any questions, Ryan or sir. Uh, yeah, Ryan, no? Okay. So,
No.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so just one last question. So you just did mention mental health, and that is something that has taken a toll on a lot of people, especially in regard, even after COVID, and even now, there's still so many people who are not able to, do whatever they want to do, especially in regard with sports. So would you like to just give in a pitch to everyone keeping mental health in mind, and also a few words of encouragement to all athletes out there?
Yeah, mental health is, I don't know why it's always been a sensitive issue, even with me, when I talk about mental health, I know what I've gone through and everything, but when there are people who coming up with mental health issues, it's still, I don't know why it's a stigma. It's still it's a very sensitive topic. One of the most tipping point, I think everybody heard about Simone Biles, the Swiss Olympic gymnast, who quit in the middle of the Olympic Games. So, there were a lot of people who criticized her. There were a lot of people who praised her and everything. So, only that person who's going through knows exactly what's happening. We can't judge anything. Anything we say or do may or may not have a reaction on that person. Like I've seen a lot of cases where people actually lose their life. They got such a huge tipping point that I a friend of a friend and all, they took their life away. And after that, there's no use feeling sorry. It doesn't matter what kind of problem they are going through. Mental health is a real issue, and everybody needs to take care of their mental health. And this is a very important thing. When people ask me, like, you physically you have a disadvantage, but how do you train so hard? How can you how is your uh, how are you able to achieve so much and keep doing it for such a long time and all? So I just tell them one thing, whatever I make up my mind to, I'll do it, and give my 100%. So when that is not stable, anybody can everybody's vulnerable to everything. So it is a very serious topic, and I think everybody needs to keep a really big check on their mental health and do whatever makes you happy. That's why I've always been pushing around this thing that do whatever makes you happy. If you love something, you'll definitely enjoy doing it. You'll definitely achieve success in it. So it doesn't matter whether it's in an education field or arts or sports. It can be anything. You just need to be happy doing it. So that's when I realized that I can't be happy anymore swimming all the time. I need to be coaching. So that is the thing. And something that helped me through was music. Listening to the music and everything, it used to get me make me active. It used to make me feel really good, even in a very tough time. So yeah, right now I'm actually doing a photo series also, where I'm putting up my favorite songs and the songs which help me through all this, and which always motivates me, and which always inspires me to do better. So I think music can be something that they can try. It's not. I think what helps me doesn't always help the other person as well, but it's just an idea. Probably they can try. If it doesn't help, they can look into something else. Yeah, but yeah, really good question. I think mental health is the most important thing.
So, sir, yeah, thank you so much for putting the emphasis on mental health. And I think that's a wonderful note to end the session. Thank you so much, sir, for taking time out to talk to us. And yes, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much. See you guys soon. Bye.